For the Story, the only podcast that's slowly running out of movies to watch. Please send help. I'm Avery.
And I'm Ash. This week we watched the Hotel Transylvania series.
I like that you had a different one from our first take. So this is take 2. We're trying this over again. It's going to be good. We watched all of the Paranormal Activities. All of them!
Except for, we were sent the Japanese second film, which was a sequel that was only released in Japan. It isn't, in the canon. Our good friend over at Get Soft, Alistair, sent it to us, and we didn't watch it.
We're going to watch it. Maybe we'll, do it sometime this weekend, and then next week we'll
talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. But yeah, we watched them all. All the Paranormal Activities, that is. I'm going to list them off, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Paranormal Activity.
Okay.
Paranormal Activity 2, that's also known as 2 Paranormal 2 Activity.
Very cool.
Paranormal Activity 3, Tokyo Drift.
Yep.
Right? Paranormal Activity 4, whatever. And then I always mixed up the last two names. It's Paranormal Activity 5,
the marked ones.
Oh, I was going to say the masked ones or the faceless ones or something like that.
The Ohio Mark ones.
Yeah. And then Paranormal Activity 6.
Dream Warriors.
Yes, perfect. Yeah, we watched all of them, and we have a lot of opinions about all of them. I think we both kind of came to a consensus after a 12-hour movie watching spree. Mm-hmm. We both agreed that they were pretty goddamn entertaining.
Yeah. They fill this weird void for haunted house horror, and we were for days afterwards. It's we were in the mood for haunted house horror, and nothing was quite scratching that itch the same way the Paranormal Activity movies were. Because go figure, most haunted house movies are pretty fucking bad. They're garbage.
Yeah. So it's very much junk food kind of movie, but we were able to get some enjoyment out of this, which was definitely better than expected. We went into it kind of like a joke. We were just oh, this is going to be agonizing. And then by the second movie, we were kind of roped into it.
Yeah. It took us a little while to get through the first one.
Yeah, because we started it and then we had to restart it the next day. Because we only got halfway through it before we were we're done.
Yeah.
Done with this. And then, so cool. So we wanted to, did we watch anything else?
We did.
Yeah.
We did. But before we get into those kind of things, we should say rate us 5 stars on iTunes. We're trying to put out material to keep y'all entertained during quarantine. And that's then right. Also, but For the Story Podcast on Instagram, we will let you know when we're streaming. We're doing some live Instagram stories for y'all to ask us questions. And
have some people come pop in. It's been really cool.
It's been very successful. We've been enjoying it a lot. So do those things. But this week we also, we watched a lot of movies this week, but we're going to specifically talk about Daniel Isn't Real, a film we found on Shudder that we really enjoyed. Yeah, we thought it was pretty fucking cool. We put it on, and then I think midway through the movie is when we figured out that one of the lead roles is actually the guy who plays Daniel. Is actually Arnold Schwarzenegger's son. I don't know what his first name was. Andrew Schwartz, something like that. Cliven Schwarzenegger. No, Cliven? Yeah, that's a real name. But it was weird because we would see he would occasionally make a facial expression, and we were wow, he looks a lot like Arnold. Yeah. But he's all skinny. It's the weirdest thing. Yeah. And so if you want to see it, you can take a look. It's kind of the same way that Kurt Russell's son, Wyatt Russell. It's the way you kind of look like your dad. This is where I'm going with this. What are you accusing me of? Because we're both bald?
I didn't know that.
Of course. Absolutely, of course.
I had no idea.
But it was a really interesting... So the basic concept of the movie is a kid has an imaginary friend who makes him almost kill his mom. The main kid, played by a guy who looks way too much like one of the Sprouse twins. He loses this imaginary friend for a while, but then he comes back and he helps him get girls, but also is fucked up and does fucked up shit. And it turns out he's Nyarlathotep, I guess.
Pretty much. He's a shape-shifting guy who's just existed and gone from person to person, torturing them over who knows how long. Yeah, so he'll start out trying to help him. Oh, dude, I'm getting you girls. You're talking to cool people. You've got new friends. I was texting while you were asleep. Blah, 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 blah. And then he's but actually, I'm going to make you kill someone. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. And the whole thing is that Daniel isn't real. It's his imaginary friend. But you find out later, Daniel is super real. Super real. Yeah, but it was a really fucking cool one. It's something on Shudder. If you have Shudder, it's probably been, you've seen it at like the front of the featured movies. It's like the first column. That's where they always put their stuff.
And we did find out it was produced also by Elijah Wood's production company as well.
Spectre Vision, right?
Spectre Vision, yeah.
They're making some good stuff right now. It's pretty cool.
Killing it. Like, not making as much money as they should, but definitely killing it.
Yeah, it's small time movies that are getting put on interesting, like little niche streaming platforms like Shudder, where there's a lot of good to come from that. And I think it was an awesome little movie. We kind of just threw it on like on a whim, because like cooking and like just hanging out in the living room, that kind of thing. And it's just like, let's try this one. And it was like, of all of the ones that we had randomly picked throughout the week, that was the one that stood out, was Daniel Isn't Real. So go ahead and give it a shot. It's a fun little movie. I definitely enjoyed it a lot. I think visually it was quite interesting as well.
Yeah, they did play with some kind of like, they had that whole scene in like the fucking Hellraiser box or whatever the fuck inside of his head, and it was just these hallways with like black lights lining them, and they did some pretty cool stuff with them in general. It was cool. It was very kind of like psychedelic grunge would be the aesthetic I would give like a lot of the filming style.
I think Mandy like really jump started this like indie horror kind of psychedelia that's been a resurgence in the past few years.
That's fair. I also think that Spectre Vision is just doing that.
Yeah,
I think that is a goal of Elijah Wood's production company in a lot of ways.
It's really cool. It like reminds you of like weird horror from like the late 70s and early 80s. Back when like there was
like better.
Yeah. Well, there's some good stuff from back then too, but like it's interesting. It's very contained, and like it's you can kind of tell it's on the cheaper side, but it's still like what they do with what they have is pretty impressive. So I would definitely recommend that. Here, can you move over here?
Yeah.
Just the mic's not
quite even up. Yeah, there we go.
That's much better.
Yeah, so that was our big other movie that we watched. We did watch some like other small ones. Yeah, I mean, was there anything else that you wanted to recommend while we're in this section still?
Well, let's say just before we move on that we were also going to watch Paranorman because we thought it would be funny.
Yeah, definitely would have been funny.
And we never got around to that either.
Too lazy.
Yeah. We've been working on like so many other things at the moment, and also it's been quite tumultuous, with like job stuff and trying to get life things situated. It's been a wild month. It has been pretty nonstop. Rough, so. But I mean, like we're at least still, we're going to be putting out the podcast regularly like we have been. So I guess that brings us up to our expectations for Paranormal Activity, doesn't it?
All the Paranormal Activities. Going in, super mad. Didn't want to do this at all.
Yeah. We had like, I think we both had these unrealistic expectations where it was going to be awful because people like bash the Paranormal Activity movies so much. Like, I think there's like this weird disliked found footage like notion that found footage is necessarily bad.
Also, I think that there's definitely like a negative connotation because like for 4 straight of these movies, they were coming out every year. Yeah. And like that's no care is being given to these films.
Yeah.
And they're not even hitting on some of them that 130-minute mark.
Yeah.
Hour 30 mark. 90-minute mark.
Yeah, and so that's like kind of a problem. They're short. They were definitely made for very cheap. You can see like we looked at what the budget is for a lot of these, and it looks like the first one only costs like $15,000 or something like that.
And then it goes up to kind of more. Yeah, so it's $15,000 for raw production, and then about $45,000 for production plus.
45. Wait, so
like $450,000 with marketing.
Okay. Yeah. So the marketing is a huge portion of what they spent on this, and it shows.
Yeah,
these movies were marketed as fuck. Remember all that shit? There was like every year there would be the one with the trailer where there's like the in theater cam where it's like it zooms in on like some like nice old lady who got tricked into going to see the movie with like her grandson,
and she's like crying,
and she's like, ooh, and popcorn goes everywhere.
Yeah,
and like one's stuck in her nose.
Yeah,
remember that one?
No. These were like very well marketed movies, and they fit this really specific niche, and they were getting churned out like butter as like just an obtuse cash grab by a production company that, especially at that time, hadn't earned anything with Blumhouse.
It's kind of cool. It's a good like cross section of like a creative idea with strong marketing and like something that was like easily replicatable and cheaply replicatable.
Oh yeah,
and
super cheap.
That's where the success comes in here. And it really shows because they're very serialized in the first few. And it was really interesting because we'll talk about this a little bit in prose, but each one is a prequel of the last up until the fourth one.
Yeah. It was insane.
We were like, oh, this is back in time. And then the third one is even farther back in time. And we were like, wow, this is just going to keep going on forever. But no, it'd be great. We made a joke like when we started the third one, we were just like, is this even farther back in time? And we were just like, what? The next one's going to take place in like 1902. Found footage from 1902.
Yeah, they were thinking about, but it's still in HD.
Yeah.
The proper resolution.
We'll talk about that when we talk about the third one because that's a problem I have. But
huge problem.
But and then we started thinking about a great idea for a movie, a found footage pirate film.
Found footage pirate film. I had another one that was really dumb. What was it? Jesus Christ! I've thought of such.
Is there
dumb...
a found footage horror movie about firefighters? Because that'd actually be kind of cool, right?
Yeah. It kind of goes hand in hand with my body cam. Police footage.
One.
Yeah,
they both have to have like a satanic cult at the end because that's scary to people, I guess.
Yeah. It's like a house wreathed in black flames that can't be put out. And Satan himself comes.
We gotta go. That'd be that character. That'd be great. I would watch that.
Yeah.
But yeah, shit. So. But as far as my expectations went, I thought I like found footage. I like scary movies. I was like, yeah, we got a movie marathon coming up. I was like looking forward to it.
Yeah, I was not. I mean, like once we got into the third one and we were like, you know what? These are an hour and a half each. We're going to just watch all of them in this one night and stay up till fucking 4 a.m.
Yeah.
I was down. I was super into it. Soon, like once we hit a certain threshold, I think once the second one ended.
Yeah. And it was just too easy.
It was too, yeah.
It was like junk food, dude.
Yeah.
That's it. They were marketed that way.
I got fat.
They were marketed like junk food. Like they're enjoyable. They're quick, cheap, dirty. I don't know.
They're cheap and dirty for sure.
Yeah.
And they end like all the same. It's really fun.
Oh yeah. The first like 4 did.
Well, the first one didn't end like any of the other ones. I feel like the first one could have been its own thing, and it would have been very memorable. But they fucked it up. Like they made themselves into a meme.
Yeah. So should we move on to some pros?
Let's talk really quick about the budget.
Yeah, let's do it.
So
we got a little bit out there.
Yeah, we got a little bit out there, but I'm going to talk specifically. So on that, so tentatively, we're getting different reads on what the budget was. Some are saying $15K, some are saying $450K. In total, the movie made $131 million. So either way, the ROI is incredible.
Yeah.
And it's wild how much money this movie actually made. I did want to ask you, since we're talking about this movie came out in 2009. I just am curious if you know the top movies from 2009.
Probably Transformers 2. I think that probably made a ton of movie that year.
Second highest.
Yeah. Let's see. There were a lot of movies. I know I saw a lot of movies in 2009. And I'm kind of just drawing a blank currently. Give me some hints and we can get this through.
It's a metaphor for apartheid.
Dude, what? I don't know what you're talking about.
But with aliens, Peter Jackson produced it and everyone was super excited.
Cowboys versus aliens.
District 9.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Somehow above that movie is a movie about hamster secret agents.
The G-Force.
Yeah. Somehow that made more money than District 9.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Oh man, District 9 was a cool one though.
That was a cool one.
I would like to talk about that one.
Yeah, I have
I haven't watched that one
since
about 2009, so
yeah,
it'd be a good. I'm down for a rewatch on that.
Hell yeah,
sometime soon.
The Bear Jew, Italian.
Oh yeah, Inglourious Bastards. Wow, that came out in 2009. That's over 10 years old now.
One of the worst movies in this franchise about killer robots from the future.
Transformers, right?
Transformers. Which Transformers though?
Dark of the Moon. It's Transformers 2, right?
Oh no, not Transformers. It also starts with a T though. I just totally filled in the.
So it's not Transformers.
No.
All right, that was misleading.
sorry. I heard Transformers, and I heard this other movie that starts with a T that involves robots.
I have no idea.
Terminator Salvation.
Oh, okay. I remember that.
Flar Flart Power Cop.
No, man. Say it in English. What?
Flar Flart Flal Slop.
Francis Ford Coppola.
I think that I gave you a great hint.
No, what is it?
Segways, Kevin James.
Oh, Paul Fart, Mario Kart.
For some reason, this film about the apocalypse in the year, which takes place 3 years after 2009.
2012. That came out in 2009.
Yep. The X-Men movie that everyone wants to forget.
Was it the Wolverine one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Origins Wolverine.
Yeah.
It's not a sequel. It's a
prequel.
It's a
squeakquel.
Yeah,
we've had that one come up so many times. Why is that on like every list that we have?
They Zachary Quinto and Leonard Nimoy are both in this movie.
The Star Trek reboot.
The Star Trek reboot.
Very cool.
Zach Galifianakis gets his start in film with Bradley Cooper.
And his end. I'm thinking something different. The Hangover. I think like what was the one with I'm not thinking Zach Galifianakis, the Scrubs guy.
Garden State?
Yeah, Garden State. Remember that movie? He was the
similar movie.
Yeah, but like I was thinking Zachary. What's the guy's name for the guy from Scrubs?
Zach Braff.
Zach Braff. That's who I was thinking of.
This Pixar movie made people cry.
WALL-E.
No.
I think WALL-E also came out that year.
I don't see it on here, so I'm saying
that might have been 2010 or 2011.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It involves balloons.
Oh, Up.
Up.
Yeah, so it wasn't that year. WALL-E must have been later. Probably 2011.
Windows XP background images is the #1 film.
The Hills Have Eyes. That was a good one, right? That was a good guess.
I don't know.
I think that also came out that year. No, honestly, I have no idea.
They're making 7 of them, but none of them have come out since 2009.
Oh, Avatar.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently there's gonna be 7, but it's 11 years later. It's like how Tool was like, we're gonna release it. Their last album came out in 2005.
Yeah.
And for 15 years they said that they were putting out a new album until 2020, when no one cares anymore.
I don't know. A lot of my musician friends care, and I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Tool's good. They had a couple of really strong albums.
They have some good stuff, but it is very samey.
Yeah. I guess.
I mean, Tool's kind of a band that if I was gonna watch them like do a live performance, I want to see it on like a handy cam made of 3 potatoes, and otherwise I'm not interested.
I get the impression that they're kind of douchebags at live shows. I think they like walk off stage and play like abnormally like short sets and stuff like that because they're like impossible to work with, drama queens.
Yeah,
that's like the impression that I get.
They want bigger trailers.
Yeah, that Guns N' Roses effect. You know, like Guns N' Roses would go on stage like 3 hours late because Axl Rose was like drunk in a closet or something.
Very cool. I was drunk in a closet this week. So that is a little bit of budget stuff, just a little fun game to keep us fresh. We got to get into these Paranormans.
Oh, yeah. All the Paranormans.
All 6 Paranormans.
When I was in years ago, I had a friend. His name was Norman. Around the time Paranorman came out. And he like walked up to this like group of our friends and said, "So you guys gonna see Paranorman?" That was the whole joke. It was great. Everyone was like, that's funny.
So flawless. Because my whole move would have been like, this is my other friend Norman. I guess we could say we're a
Paranormans.
Like it's so much more work than that joke.
It was just so funny because he was like one of those guys that only spoke if he had something to say.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like the opposite of people like you and I.
Yeah.
And so
I never
like,
have anything to say.
So the thing that like the thing that he chose to say that day was, "You guys gonna see Paranorman?"
You're gonna learn about my people.
It was so fucking funny. I'll like never forget that. But anyway.
Why would you do that?
That was so much louder than I thought it was going to be. We'll edit that out.
It's fine. We're not going to edit that. So, how do you want to break things down? I know we've done the multiple film things before.
I think we should just go. We should start with the first one, and then as the conversation evolves, the other ones will be tied in.
Yeah, much like how this movie was written. These movies were written.
Exactly. Yeah, on the fly. They were just like, shit, we have to find something to do with this character.
So the first one is a slow burn.
Yeah, it's a slow movie.
Super slow movie.
For an hour and a half long, it might be a little bit longer than that, but for like a shorter movie, they effectively keep the pace slow intentionally until the last like 30 minutes.
Yeah, it really picks up at the end. The first one's kind of a weird one where I'm not sure if I actually like it.
Yeah,
because it's not as popcorn as the rest of them.
It's not. I think part of it is it's before the machine kind of took over. Yeah, you know what I mean. So they were like we can. Somebody was like, I have a $15,000 movie idea. And Blumhouse was probably like in its very formative years. So they were like,
I have that much money.
Yeah. Like, we'll give you 15 grand to make this movie. And so they made it, and then it just kind of stuck. Like, it actually worked. And so probably once people were like, this is actually enjoyable, that's probably when they beefed up the marketing. Yeah. If I had to guess. And they started putting more money into it. Probably gave it another theatrical release, something along those lines.
Yeah. Because it was performing, when I was looking at the numbers, really well in like the 8th to 13th week.
That makes a lot of sense. So it was like interestingly enough, slow burn horror movie makes its slow burn at the box office.
Terrible headline for like a newspaper. Luckily, those don't exist anymore.
Slow burn horror movie.
Extra, read all about it. Slow burn horror movie has a slow burn at the box office.
Exactly. But it ended up making a ton of money.
Oh, dude, that is such a great ROI.
Yeah,
I wish I could make that ROI.
Yeah. $15,000 they put into like
raw production.
Yeah, just producing a movie, and then it turns out making what, 130 million?
Is that what you said?
That's so ridiculously good. Wait, we have it right here. Now wait a second.
That has 193 million, but that probably includes DVD sales.
That probably does include DVD sales.
Because it's 2009 when people still owned a DVD, bought Blu-ray DVDs. Paper.
Compare that to the second one, which actually made less.
Yeah, they had the third one. I think is when they started making it back. The third one was the one.
Yeah,
but
the third one was better than the
second one.
Shit, Peel didn't like the fourth one either. Damn, that's got to be when people were like, "I'm sick of this shit."
Yeah, and then we can look at like number 5, which made no fucking money.
Where is that? I don't even. Marked ones. Here we go.
90
million.
And then down to, I think 2015 is the Ghost Protocol or whatever.
The Dead Detectives, the Ghost Dimension. Oh, didn't make shit. And that was predictably enough the most expensive one. Yeah. It just goes to show. Yeah. Just goes to fucking show. Although $10 million realistically in the grand scheme of things, really cheap. They still made a decent chunk of money on that.
That's 1/6 of a Rambo Last Blood.
Exactly.
No, the ROI is always fantastic, which is why they're making another one that we will have to see in 2021.
Yeah, for sure.
It's going to be called like the Dead
Detectives.
Don't Lie.
The Dead Don't Die. Paranormal Activity. Dead Don't Die.
Yeah, or like cool. Satan's Here,
bitches. Or it'll be the pirate found footage one that we've been asking for.
The Curse of the Black Pearl.
Paranormal Activity, the Curse of the Black Pearl.
At World's End.
The Paraninist.
Ooh.
The Paranormal Activity. Ooh, with an 8 in there. Yeah. It's a 7 though.
Yeah, it is a 7.
They'll skip it. They'll just skip like Windows 10 it.
Everyone will be looking for that 7th movie.
Oh, it could be anywhere. And then like open to somebody to produce a $15,000 7th Paranormal Activity.
Nice. Us.
The Paranormal and the Finest.
The Paranormal 7th.
Yeah, you're onto something there. Maybe they'll do it in another language.
Yeah.
Or 7.
7 The paranormal.
And they'll have it go back to the Latinx community.
Yeah.
From the 5th one.
Yeah.
That nobody liked. And nobody liked in the 5th one.
The 5th one was. Oh, okay. So let's start this first one.
Yeah.
We got Mika. We got Katie.
Bam. Only 2 characters aside from the demon.
They're not married, so you know that something's bad's going to happen.
Exactly.
They have a house together.
And they're having premarital sex. Yeah. That's why they're haunted.
One of the weirdest stays of this fucking movie series is everyone is trying to fuck on camera and never does.
That's how they like bait into like the movie. Like that's the only reason they're always like they're setting up the camera. It's like there's always that part where they almost have sex and then like there's an earthquake or like a demon attacks them or something. Like
or
it happens
just
in every
the camera
movie.
turns off or No.
Yeah. It's like there always something has to happen, but that's like how they get the camera into the world, you know? It's like it always starts there because otherwise, except for the second one, which actually kind of had a cool idea, where they started hearing all this weirdo shit, so they put security cameras up, which was like makes more sense. Mm-hmm. Although I think in execution was less interesting than what they did in the first one.
I think the third one for me is the pinnacle of their filming, mostly because they just, they did the standard, we're setting up cameras, but then they had like the one really cool one where they had one on top of the oscillating fan, which was great. It was really fucking awesome. The webcams in the fourth one were great. In the fifth one, I had no idea why they were filming. And in the sixth one, they had the magical camera.
Well, the fifth one was just fucking... It was just Chronicle.
Yeah, it was... Oh, my God.
Like to a T. Like, for sure. What year did this come out? The fifth one. There's the Ghost Dimension.
Mark one came out in 2014.
So years after Chronicle.
I think 2 years. I think Chronicle came out in 2012.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Chronicle's such a good movie. Oh, my God.
Yeah, Chronicle's good, and so they probably saw it, and they were like, we could do that with Paranormal Activity. Yeah. The ghosts give him special powers, and he's cool and popular at school.
Yeah, and then he goes crazy. They did have some really crazy shots of that movie. I like the one where it goes, like, he, like the grandma's like, here, I'm gonna touch you with an egg and get rid of the spirit, because
I don't remember that.
You don't remember? She had like the egg and she was like wiping it on his forehead, and then he like fucking bit her and bit off her finger. She's like, the lights go off, he disappears, and then like they're looking around the room with like the dark vision, and then like the
whole room warps.
Yeah, he's
into there,
and then he's like,
yeah, exactly, just like that. It's really interesting because they did do some kind of cool stuff with computer generated effects in the later ones. Yeah. And early on in the series, it's very, very bare bones. Even the second one basically has no computer generated effects.
Yeah, I think I blur the second and the third one together because they have the same fucking camera. Like, this was the big thing that Avery was pissed off about, and I understand it now that I'm going back through these in my head. Yeah. The third one takes place in 88, and the camera's in HD.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's ridiculous. It was bad. They should have changed the aspect ratio at the very least, but it's in high definition. They kind of try to make it look like it's filmed on tape, but it's but the aspect ratio is 16:9. It's huge. It's the same aspect ratio as my computer monitor.
Yeah, your fancy ass computer. And the thing is it's the way that they try and make it look older is just by having the old school
little
time
VHS time thing, which they've had in every other movie. They just changed the font for the third one, which is just so fucking lazy to me.
Yeah, super fucking lazy.
Yeah, they should have either gone all the way and filmed it on camcorders, which I think would have been fucking awesome. Yeah, that would have been the way to do it. And you can get something from a camcorder on a computer.
It's fucking cheap.
Probably would have been even cheaper. Yeah. Well, I guess they would have had to film it on tapes. Which probably would have taken...
And then converted it over to a digital format.
It would have been a pain in the ass, but they could have done it and it would have looked... I think it would have looked more realistic. Rather than just putting the old school thing back in there. And also, I want somebody to send us a picture of a goddamn camcorder from 1988 that can fit on an oscillating fan that wouldn't cause it to just straight up topple over.
Yeah, that was...
That shit's huge. Oh my God. I think I'm haunted, dude.
What?
That was a ghost sneeze. That's the ninth Paranormal Activity.
That's the seventh one.
Yeah, the ghost sneeze.
The ghost sneeze. Yeah, dude.
So it's really interesting. I also like how they abandoned the numbering formula for the ladder,
because they were trying to trick us, because they started people aren't going to see these as much. The fourth one didn't do well, so the fifth one we're just going to pretend it's a different thing.
It's a spin-off,
but it's not.
They did go in a totally different direction with it, which was probably it started out compelling. The fifth one did. Mm-hmm. Whoa, was that thunder?
That was thunder.
Spooky. God damn, maybe the apartment's haunted. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting how they did that. I like it started out with good intentions, right? They were doing I don't know. The whole thing is just so off color for the entire series, and then they go back to it for the Ghost Dimension, which I think we can both agree is the worst one. Right?
No, I disagree. I think the fourth one is the worst one.
Really?
Yeah. Ghost Dimension's at least so unbelievably silly. Yeah. Because Venom's in it. And
yeah. Oh my God. That's when they just full on started rendering the ghosts which is so against the spirit of every other film in this.
Spirit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right. Like they actually just like render the ghost creature in the movie, and like they try to tie it into the one from 88. You see some like footage from the creepy girls from 88, which I don't know how those girls don't remember it when they grow up and they're in the first and second one.
I think they do. I think they were like fucking in a cult and they knew exactly what was going to happen. It's the sister who doesn't make sense.
Yeah. The sister who you only see in the second one.
Yeah. No, well, they do also do, because like, so in the fourth one, it's all about Hunter, the kid of the sister, whose name is fucking forgettable. Yeah. And the big thing with that one, that I thought was particularly bad, was that it was all kids.
Oh yeah,
and that's why, like,
they had a target demographic for sure.
The sixth one, while like not good, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's good. They had some cool things, like all the old videotapes of them like being in the cult, and then like he picks up the daughter and she sneezes, and the videotapes goes "bless you," and like all that. I thought that worked really well.
Okay,
there were things like that I thought just worked well. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think like going over the deep end, rendering the ghost, like
I'm not
showing
that.
it. It's just like they have a magic video camera. It's all this stuff to me is just like that's so silly. Like the idea was, what was cool about the first one is that this guy just has a camera and he's like, I'm starting to hear weird shit around my house. Now that this girl's living here, I'm gonna fucking film it and capture some weirdo shit. Mm-hmm. And like that's cool. And then on the second one, they kind of start the same way, but they're like jumping around through time, which is a little bit more realistic, I think, in the second one.
Yeah, like, and there's like some recording over tapes that happens,
which is cool. And like that kind of thing happens. Like they were still sticking to the roots of this is a camcorder and this is what your home videos look like. You have 15 seconds of footage from 2009, and then you have another 4 minutes of footage from 2010,
right?
And then and then the bulk of everything starts, and then the like edited in are the security camera footage,
mm-hmm.
which
doesn't end up paying off, most of them.
I don't know. The second one, like, while being like a cool concept, I think ended up being pretty lackluster, and honestly just kind of racist too.
Oh yeah, with like the fucking their Mexican maid, who was just like a caricature of a Catholic, Latinx person.
She tries to like bless the house with like the
sage,
with sage and all that stuff,
and then like, he fires her. For that.
He fires her for it, and it's like so ridiculous. It's like
classic
this like unnecessarily wealthy family.
Yeah, okay, that was the other thing.
Yeah.
Comrade Paranormal Activity ghost trying to kill all those rich people.
Dude, these people are so inexplicably fucking wealthy.
Yeah. All of these people, I'm kind of like, once we kind of went, okay, maybe we're on this ghost side.
Yeah.
Like,
and the ghosts became the protagonists. We were just like, eat the rich, dude.
Yeah, eat the rich.
They need to have something bad in their lives.
Yeah, like seriously, like, oh my God, dude. Yeah. So like, first one, the guy's like a Wall Street trader and like whatever. And then you never see the other ones work in the second one.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck do they do?
Yeah.
That they have enough time
to be at home with their ghosts.
To dick around with ghosts all the time. Like, they gotta be working or something.
Why don't you
or independently wealthy.
Maybe pull yourself up by your bootstraps and the ghost will go away. How about that?
Yeah. Well, maybe if you got a better job, you wouldn't be home where the ghosts are, idiot.
Maybe you should have saved up to deal with ghosts.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to talk about how these all kind of feed into each other, because it is like a universe.
Yeah.
So the first one, we have Mika and Katie, and she kills Mika.
Bare bones.
Yeah. She's just possessed, but it seems like it's an outside ghost. But turns out she's possessed.
Yeah.
Second one, it's just before he was killed with the sister.
Yeah.
And then
the sisters like brought in there somehow. They have a new baby. You see Katie from the first one kind of like coming in and out. Yeah. She's there at the beginning of the movie, and then at the end of the movie, she
you don't know that
kills the sister and takes the baby, and then like they run off. And then in the third one, it's about both of the sisters back in 1988
and how they got inducted into this demon cult for Toby.
Yeah. Toby's the name of the ghost.
Yeah, even though that's not his real name, because he's really Nyarlathotep.
Yeah. Every movie.
Every movie, it's Nyarlathotep. And then, so the fourth one is when it gets really,
they finally like break off and then start talking about other people.
Yeah, but not really, because the fourth one is about how the adopted sister of your sister, who's in the fourth movie. Not really, but apparently
she looks a lot like my younger sister.
Her adopted little brother is Hunter, the kid of the sister. Yeah.
And then there's a creepy ass kid named Robbie who lives across the street.
I think the creepy ass kid was one of the stronger installations for that film, because he was.
It was one of the best parts of that movie, but that movie drug on forever.
Yeah, that was the only movie where we were authentically
like bored.
Yeah.
And I think a big part of it was, we brought this up a little bit earlier too. It was how like you could see what a movie's target demographic is based on the main characters and who they are, and they were children, and like their parents didn't believe them, and so it was very clear to me that that movie was aimed at what they figured their target demographic was, which was children.
That's the thing, though. These movies had been so like, the third one just made a fuck ton of money, and the demographic didn't like change. So I don't know why they were just like, oh, we have to. It
seems like a marketing mistake.
Yeah, super big marketing mistake.
Yeah, and like a big misstep, and like they were just uninteresting. Like, although like I don't know, they seemed like to be too smart for children or something. Like, there's something about it that you could kind of tell that some of their lines were written by adults, and that's always like. That when that shines through, it's like it's kind of the same way with Stranger Things. Mm-hmm. How like 90% of the time they're acting like kids. They're calling each other wieners and stuff like that. Yeah. And then like every so often there'll be a line that like Dustin has, where he's like saying scientific shit, and it's just like this was written by a fucking
Dustin,
adult.
your house is covered in lead paint. There's no way you know what that means.
And, like, so it's one of those things where it's just like every so often it's just like, how would fucking kids don't know that shit? Yeah, or they do. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, kids say fucked up shit, and that's kind of great, and I love that.
That's what was better about Stranger Things. In this circumstance, they were just like perfect children who are afflicted by this creepy kid, I guess.
Yeah, and then
just
like,
really boring.
I don't remember what happens. That they get Hunter, like her adopted brother.
I didn't pay attention much
because they were getting him so they could do a satanic ritual to put Toby in him, and then the fifth one is where it gets really off the rails. Yeah. They mention, this lady who used to live downstairs from me, she was using witchcraft to make the fucking TARDIS, but only to bad places in time.
Oh, and that's right. There's like teleportation and stuff.
So the movie ends with the main character, or like the kid Hector, who actually I hated the entire movie. Like the kid I liked was the Chronicle kid, who was like, look, I can lean over and a ghost catches me.
That stuff, like, as stupid as it was and totally off color for this movie series, that was some of the most fun shit. We were like, oh my god, we were like excited he's doing all this crazy shit. And we were like, whoa, what dude. Is this? Yeah, that shit was funny. I think the worst part, when the fifth one bottoms out at the worst, is when all of like the cholo dudes in the neighborhood gang up and get their shotguns out of, and
they're recording this fucking crime.
Like, they're literally going to commit a crime with like probably like automatic weapons and like rifle, like ridiculously illegal weapons in California, and they're literally filming it and like using each other's names to go shoot a ghost or something. Yeah, they're like gonna go. We're gonna go kill that ghost or something. I think somebody actually says that. Like,
I'm gonna shoot that ghost in the face.
That ghost. Yeah, it's some fucking stupid. That was the dumbest shit. The fifth one was dumb, man.
But the dumbest part was at the end, how they try to tie it in. When he goes through that door, Hector goes through that door, and he's in Mika and Katie's house from the first movie. And famously, at the end of the first one, you hear Katie yell, Mika, Mika! And then there's a kerfuffle. She walks back upstairs in front of the camera. She's just covered in his blood, and he's been missing. But so he walks down. She's like standing in the kitchen, and he taps her on the shoulder, like, "Hey, white lady, I don't know where I am." Yeah. And then she starts screaming Mika, and then that's when she killed Mika, and then Hector.
So you're supposed to like think that this is all like the
Mexican kids.
Yeah, it's so like convoluted, and they just totally divert away from all of that with the sixth one. They're just like, what are we going to do with this shit? Because that's not scary. That's just weird and interconnected in a way that's unnecessary.
Oh yeah, but almost in a way that's so unnecessary that I like it.
Oh yeah, like as stupid as the fifth one was, I was definitely more interested in that one than the fourth one. The fourth one just drug on and on and on. But the third one was when we were like kind of into it though. You know, like I think the third one we haven't talked enough about because that one's got
the best one.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably the highest quality one because it's like at the end of like the arc when they're still doing like their formula, but they've gotten it down and it's a lot better. And like there's some like legitimately creepy stuff. Like there's this creepy door in the little girl's room where the demon lives and stuff like that. You know, some actually good stuff. I was just a little turned away by how high definition the camera was. It didn't make any sense.
I think a lot of like the good scares were in the third one. They had the one where they were playing Bloody Mary. The guy gets like sliced and then like out there, and then the table gets thrown.
Yeah.
They have the one shot where they're like the girls are playing, and then the girl runs into Toby and he grabs her and picks her up by her ponytail.
Oh, that shit was awesome.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
All those oscillating fan shots, the entire kitchen falling from the sky. That was a really great one.
That was the movie where I actually found myself being kind of legitimately scared.
Yeah,
like when they were doing the Bloody Mary in like the bathroom, I was like, oh my god, they're gonna turn the lights on. Yeah, they did a really good job, which is what the first and the second one did so well.
And that's also why
that slow burn
probably made. But also, I feel like I got more payoff during because like everything there was like a lot of stuff that just was fucking off camera in that one.
Yeah.
Whereas in the third one, I feel like I was being given enough of like the paranormal, while keeping a burn on it and keeping the tension.
Yeah.
And I understand why it made the most money of all of them.
Oh, for sure,
because it is the standout best one, even with the problems of it being in the fucking 80s.
Yeah, exactly. It had enough paranormal. It had enough activity.
Yeah,
it had enough Tokyo Drift,
and for sure, Paranorman.
Yeah, and Paranorman made a great appearance as Toby.
Yeah, so
good.
By far the best one. And then I love the fact that like it's like the grandma is the bad, like the big bad at the end, where it's like the grandma's actually
that did happen.
She's like,
and like their parents go to like, that's right, because that's when they introduced that there's a whole cult.
Yeah,
but they never like they kind of touch on it again. Yeah, not really.
This is the sixth one they talk about the cult because they have the videos of the kids who are different actors now because fuck you.
Because they had to go back and re-record the scenes.
Yeah.
And it came out like fully like probably 5 years later. So or they got the same actresses and they just like
I mean we're just bad at remembering. It's also possible.
Yeah, that could be it too.
Sixth one though. Oh, here's another thing that bugged me about the fourth one. They like read what's gonna happen. Like, oh, this is what's going to happen, so the hunter can become the vessel for Toby. And
it sets aside all these rules, so the fear of the unknown is totally gone.
Yeah, and one of them's like, they can't be a virgin. And, like, her boyfriend's like, we could fix that. And I'm like, you know what? I get that they're 14, but that probably would fix the problem.
That could solve the problem.
Yeah, you, like, if you're not a virgin, he's kind of SOL, I guess.
Yeah, well.
Sorry. Maybe this is the one movie where they fuck, but it's also the wrong movie to have them fuck, because they decided for it to be kids.
Well, like seriously, like that movie was geared toward kids. That's why they had to add that.
They had like the Xbox Connect fucking cam.
I think so. Yeah, they had the one cam that like shot the lasers out, and like I guess they were trying to just like add a new element to it, and they only like it only paid off in like one scene where you see like a little ghost boy walking around or something.
Yeah,
and like that's it, and it was just like totally useless other than that. What I want to talk about the sixth one for a second.
Okay.
Because I think they realized how far they had strayed when they re-released Chronicle with the masked ones or the faceless ones or whatever.
Marked ones.
Yeah.
High marked ones.
Yeah. So when they did the Ghost Dimension, I think they wanted to put it all back in a super wealthy giant house.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
The biggest one yet.
Dial it back to the most giant, ridiculously well. Like there was a scene where he was like talking to his wife and he like pans the camera for like a full second to get her, and she's like a football field away. She's like, "Hey, come to bed!
I'm up on the balcony.
Balcony. And I'm gonna put reverb on that. It's funny. and so like it just like it takes so long for him to pan up to her, and it's just like how can these people have any problems? They like go out to their backyard and it's like they're
3 pools.
Yeah, they have like a daughter who's like following like the thing is, and where the scares succeeded in the other ones is that you can't see the ghost, so you don't know when it's gonna do something crazy.
Yeah.
But in this one, they give like magic camera. And the magic camera can see the ghost material. So you see like he's reaching out to touch it. Mm-hmm. It's so dumb. Yeah. Like it like totally undercuts so much of the other stuff. And they just tried to redo the first one, but you could see the ghost this time.
Yeah. And it's a lot worse. It's like what they're trying to, like I get what they're trying to do with that one where it's like, a different kid is needed with with Hunter to make the boom boom and like turn Satan into a guy who like is not scary because he's got a limp. Like I don't get that was another weird choice when they finally resurrect Satan and he's I don't remember that at the very end where it's like it's the you only see his feet and he like picks up the girl like the mom and like kills her.
Oh my god, I have no recollection of that.
So the whole you remember how the hole opened up behind the little girl's bed? And
she like that's right.
Yeah. And then she goes in and she's like.
That's right. And she talks to Toby and Toby like grabs her hand.
Yeah. But he's like got like a limp and I'm like, why am I scared of this? Like, I feel like if one of these guys could fucking lift, bro, you could have just punched the ghost. Yeah. Yo, Ghostbusters, how about Ghost Punchers? Let's make that movie.
Found footage ghost puncher movie. Oh, that's great. But yeah, man, like that's right. I just remember in the ghost dimension, like it just goes totally off the rails because there's like the one scene where they like summon the ghost underneath like the blanket and it's like whirling around and it's like 80 feet tall and it's like super evil and you kind of see what it actually looks like. And it just like, it's so unnecessary. Like, it's so unnecessary. Yeah. It's so far beyond the scope of what, like, these movies succeeded with, is what I'm trying to say. It's that whole ghost dimension crap. It's garbage. It doesn't matter. They only go to the ghost dimension for, like, a second. Like, she, like, creepily walks into the ghost dimension behind her. Like, why does there need to be a ghost dimension?
Like I think it's hard for me to define what the ghost dimension is. I'm not sure if that is the mechanism of the camera.
Or just, like, they thought it was a good subtitle.
Yeah, I don't know. And, like... Another thing that really brought into focus, like, because they touch on Christianity in the first one, where it's like, oh, hey, Father, and then they're like, or it's not even a priest, it's like a...
The first one's when the priest, like, comes in, and, like, he comes by once, and they say hi to him, and he's just like, yeah, I don't know, something's not right here. And then he comes back later, he's like, I gotta fucking go. like, I got a 2 o'clock, like...
Honestly, I already missed right lunch.
Yeah, like, she's waiting in the car. Like, that shit was so fucking funny. It was just like, sorry, you guys are gonna have to figure this out here. I don't think there's anything I can do.
But there is a weird thing in horror movies that especially with haunted houses, where it's like, because evil exists, Christianity is true. But only kind of, because it can't actually beat the demon.
like ever. There's always like that scene where you think like the priest is going to save him and he's like blessing the house. And then the priest gets like ripped in half and like thrown across. And the demon's just way too powerful. Yeah. Like there's like that happens in every single one.
Yeah.
I think like that was started with The Exorcist.
I just, there's something that needs to be done where it's like, it doesn't like the fake out is not good anymore. Like you should start like being like, Crucifix Santos, holy water, and the guy should just be like, nah, like crack his neck.
Well, that happened in the ghost dimension.
Yeah, but I felt like he kind of played along with it a little bit, where he was like, I'm contorting and I'm in pain. Just kidding, I'm going to kill you. Yeah. Like that's overdone for me.
Oh yeah,
like okay. They need to establish very quickly, like, guess what? Your God ain't here, motherfucker. Like, that's like what I need out of these kinds of movies, and like what. Maybe it was a Jewish demon.
Oh
no
one
ever talks about how it's a Jewish demon.
Oh my God! Like why don't they ever get a rabbi?
Yeah, like why not get a Muslim?
For representation?
Yeah, get an imam, get a rabbi, get a Hindu priest.
Yeah, why are all the ghosts have to be Christian ghosts? Like,
come on,
right? Like, come on, like let's mix it up. Like, a Hindu ghost would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'd do a Buddhist ghost. Not sure what that would look like.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah. And the unenlightenment.
Yeah. Or an atheist ghost.
Just isn't there. The movie just never happens. It's just footage of people living their lives.
The priest comes in and starts praying. He's like, hey man, I don't want to be an asshole, but God isn't real.
Like that never happens. Whenever the priest comes in movies like this, they're always just like, he can save us. It's like there's never the characters that's like, come on, like for real? Like, come on. Like, what's he gonna do? There's never that character.
I think we should make the first Jewish haunting movie. I think that if I did enough research and like figure like, do ghosts and spirits and demons exist in Judaism? Because I don't fucking know. I'm not that religious. But I think that'd be fun just to kind of turn it on its head.
I'd hate to burst your bubble here, but these movies aren't religious, right? These movies, ghosts and demons aren't fucking real.
What?
I'm sorry, dude, but not even the Christian ghosts exist. They just always go in that direction for some reason.
I thought the Christians had ghosts and we didn't.
These aren't actual documentaries.
But they're filmed by people and they're edited together.
But they were really there. Yeah. But they're edited together nicely.
Yeah, I just thought someone found that footage.
And they had those slides with the white text on the black background that says...
Yeah, it was made in iMovie, which means it's real.
Did they try to do the whole thing with the Paranormal Activities when they were like based on a true story?
Yeah, they did.
Did they really do that with the marketing?
Well, they're just like, and it's like these have been fictionalized
based on actual events. Yeah. And like in reality, it was just like one character had like a similar name and like lived in a house where a Ouija board accidentally got lit on fire.
Yeah, where the one of the guys from Catfish, like that's the thing about these lower budget horror movies. Everyone's like a knockoff another actor, and it's really funny.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You should. We gotta finish the Hell House LLC.
Yeah,
There's three of those movies. They're pretty good. They're kind of like this, except like they just like fully accept that they go off the rails. They just keep adding characters. And
I really want to make a Jewish ghost movie now. Like I know we were joking, but that'd be fun.
Yeah. Oh my god, I would be into it.
Yeah, I'm fulfilling myself. It's a Jewish joke. Yeah. So, are there any other outstanding cons for this series? Because like my general feeling is they're good.
Like. They're better than I expected.
The controversial opinion, they're kind of exactly what you want out of a haunted house movie.
I think that's really where it's kind of hard to say like they're quality films because you could tell that they're not.
Yeah, they're super not.
But for like what you're getting, like versus like the amount of realistically the amount of effort that was put into it versus the end product, they're pretty entertaining.
Oh,
like they're entertaining, and that's like really all you want from a movie. It's like we didn't go into this expecting metaphors, you know, like,
but we got them.
No, these movies don't mean anything. This is another thing where everything has to be so hyper literal. You know, like, it's just like everything that's in this movie is, irony is dead. These movies are just the hyper literal end result. Like, this is like peak literalism.
Thanks, Obama.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's kind of hard to say that, like, you know, you're not going to get anything good out of them, but they're not horrible. No, like, they're not horrible.
I think watching them like we did all in
was the way to do it.
Was the way to do it. I think if we had broken them up, we would have gotten a general lower amount.
We would have gotten confused. Like the thing is, like there were so many characters and so many tenuous links between how these characters were at different locations and how they were related to each other, with the exception of like the first two. We were like, holy shit, that's the girl from the first one. And then she's kept appearing in every movie after that, and it was like, less and less interesting every time.
I mean, I still got excited. I'm like, oh my god, it's Katie, guys. She's the evil one.
So I don't know. It was just like they weren't bad, but I was enjoyed. I was playing a video game most of the time.
Yeah, I was on and off, like, doing other stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good kind of background popcorn movie.
Oh, so great. If
I am excited,
if you want to watch them in the background,
I am excited.
Yeah, well, we're totally gonna go see it. One thing we have to shout out Tubi.
Oh, I was thinking about Tubi.
We found the first one on Netflix. Mm-hmm. The first one is on Netflix, but none of the other ones were. And so we were like, what the fuck? What are we gonna do? So if you have a Roku, you can just search where movies are on Roku, and there's an app called Tubi. I don't even think you need to sign up for it.
No, we haven't had to sign up for it. Everything was completely...
Unless I signed up for it like a while ago, which is a possibility.
Yeah.
But anyway, minimal commercial breaks. There was like maybe 3 breaks in a movie.
2-ish.
2 or 3, yeah, depending on the length of the movie. But they were like pretty unintrusive. They came at like weird times sometimes, but sometimes they were actually like really, really well lined up with what was going on.
Yeah.
But like totally worth it. Like all of the other ones were on Tubi except for like the last one or something, which I think
we watched all of them on Tubi.
So all the rest of them were on Tubi. Yeah. So Tubi was the breakout star of the movie marathon.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So
and the guy from Catfish on MTV.
Yeah.
Who was in the first one and second one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was briefly in the second one. I don't think it's really him, but he did look very similar.
Like, yeah, well, we kept going. I kept going like, "This is my ex. She's apparently in this movie." And Avery would be like, "That's my sister, not my ex."
They really,
my ex,
I think when they were making these, I think when they were making the Paranormal Activity movies, they looked at our lives specifically, you and I, and they said these people look like people in Avery and Asher's lives. They knew that the podcast was going to be coming out.
They've known I've gotten drunk and watched MTV's Catfish before.
Yeah, so there you go. Paranormal Activity. Where are we at?
We're probably about
time left.
50 minutes ish. We might as well just wrap this puppy up.
Yeah, let's bring it on home. We got to. This was a fun movie marathon. I think we should definitely do more of these in the future. Because that was cool. It was cool to just like blast through some. All the Friday the 13th are on.
I fucking hate you. We're watching One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest next week. And it's a real movie.
So there you go.
Yeah. So for reviewing films, the way we like to do it here at For the Story is we give 5 words that we think describe the entirety of the Paranormal Activity series. A short little blurb on, the movie, whether or not you should watch it, and a rating out of 10. Avery, would you like to begin?
I would. Mine are welcome to the ghost zone. Those are my 5 words.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, because if you're going to be watching these, you got to fully immerse yourself. Start at number 1, watch them all the way through.
All the way through.
It was so much more enjoyable that way. Like all of the tenuous links, like there were twists and turns and boring stretches when you could play a game on your Switch. It was great. Yeah.
I want to add one more thing. I want you to rank the movies for me as well.
Yeah,
just so our audience can kind of get which ones were our favorites.
Yeah. The series as a whole gets a healthy 6.5 out of 10.
Very healthy.
It's like there was so much enjoyment to be had there, and if you're willing to suspend your own disbelief a little bit here and there, you can like get a lot of enjoyment out of these movies. So I would definitely recommend them. I mean, they're all virtually free.
Yeah.
With the exception of paying for your Netflix subscription for the first one, they're all virtually free.
Yeah.
So very cool. And if I were to rank them in order, I would say
best
the first.
To worst.
Yeah, best to worst. The first one's probably the best. After that, I would say the third one. The first and the third are kind of interchangeable. They're very similar in a lot of ways. Yeah. But I think the third one just takes all of the good stuff from the first one and like kind of repackages it. And then after that, I would have to go the fourth one, then the second one, and then the fifth one, and then the sixth one last, because the sixth one sucked.
All right.
Yeah.
Very cool. So it was a 6.5 you gave it? All right. So my 5 words are going to be, where my Jewish ghosts at?
Bam.
Boom.
It's a good question.
Where are they? For freaking goys. I don't know what I'm saying. These movies are highly entertaining. I think they really fill a void, and the fact that, like, if they weren't so like obtusely whorish in their money grabbingness, I think that just like having a Paranormal Activity come out every year, I'd be fine with that. If they were just going straight to DVD.
Run out of ideas.
But they did that in these movies. They ran out of ideas.
Yeah. People burned out, and that's why they have to space them out more now, because
this could be 6 years. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll completely reboot the series in the 7th one.
Maybe. That's probably, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
It would be kind of cool to see a little bit more modern of a take on I think they tried to go back to their roots with the sixth one as is, but like making it self-contained in a haunted house, know. But
I think that also they're maybe waiting a little bit on like newer tech, or like
the burnout to be done.
Yeah. People be down. But I would definitely say watch all these movies, but watch them in a row. Don't watch them individually. I'm going to give them a healthy 7 out of 10.
Yeah, perfect.
And to rank them, I'm going to go number 3, number 1. Number 2, number 5, number 6, number 4. Number 4 was the worst one for me because it was dull.
Yeah.
Like the 6th one is dumb, but it was fun. I had fun with it. I'm like, at least this is terrible and they're giving me something visually. Yeah. The 4th one was terrible and they gave me nothing visually.
Yeah, that's true. It was very bland. Having children being the focus, and it was just like
having children, period. Am I right?
Seriously. But like there was like a dad character, and he was just like, I don't have fucking. Can we talk about the dads who just never have time for their family?
Yeah, the dad in the 4th one is like the ultimate guy who's just like,
I'm too rich. I thought I didn't have to pay to. I thought I was paying not to talk to you.
Yeah. Well, you want to like touch me? No,
I don't have time for this. I have anyway. Rick. Like on his phone.
Sell these shares.
Yeah, sell these shares. My daughter's being a fucking idiot again. Talking about ghosts and shit.
Yeah. Oh no. These kids with their active imaginations. I can't believe I used to be one. Disgusting.
No, I don't love her. What are you talking about, Rick?
I don't love my wife either. I sleep on the couch. It's like all these terrible things.
Yeah, I'd like to buy an RV to hit my wife with.
Yeah, it was such a boomer movie. Oh my God.
Absolutely.
Okay, boomer. So those are our thoughts on the Paranormal Activity season. We were able to be pretty concise because they all kind of blend together, which makes it seem like a normal movie episode instead of a movie episode about 6 movies, which is kind of amazing.
When you put the totality of Paranormal Activity together, if you lay them on top of each other, you get one good movie's worth of content. Yeah. So there you go.
It's a lot of just shots of someone standing next to a bed, and then it gets like fast forwarded for an hour where they're just kind of shaking back and forth in every movie. Every movie has like a leg pull effect.
Yeah, always. There was, especially through the first 4, which were structurally the most similar. There was just repeated concepts and shots. It was always someone getting wire pulled out of a bed. That happened in every movie, I'm pretty sure.
The demon cock blocks someone.
Yeah. They kill a dog in the second one, which was pretty fucked up.
Oh, and in the 5th one, they have the kid who like pins the dog to the ceiling, super fucked up. Yeah, so not down.
Yeah, we did not like that.
No, that was
poor dog.
Yeah, that's why it's one of the worst ones.
Yeah, they definitely were trying to like prod at people's like empathy with that one for sure.
Yeah,
getting you to like kind of hate the main character. Although it sucks because you really like the main character at the beginning.
Yeah,
and then he really turns into a sack of shit.
And then we never talked about how they use a one of those like Simon Says toys as a method of talking to the.
I liked that.
You liked that?
I think that was one of the cooler ideas in the whole thing. It was so stupid. Like everything about that 5th movie was stupid. It was so fun. Like it was just so they get like a Simon Says toy and they're asking it questions and they think it's just a joke or a coincidence at first, but it starts like responding and it flashes green for yes and red for no.
I wonder what blue is.
Yeah, and then they like ask, it's maybe, and then they ask it to go away, and it says no. It was so good. Like go away, and it just goes no. Like, I'm not going away. Like it's fucking awesome.
Yeah. So that was our review of Mr. Norman and his paranormal activities.
Paranorman's activities.
Yeah, the parable of Norman's activities. The fantastic Mr. Norman and his paranormal activities.
Okay.
The Imaginarium of Dr. Para
and Norman.
Next week, we got One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest before we really go over the deep edge.
That's going to be good. That's going to be like a real review.
Yeah, we're going to have a real review next week, and then it's 2 weeks of terribleness. We're going to be watching Tammy and the T-Rex and Christian Mingle.
I've like already forgotten. I always forget what the movies are.
Yeah, that's my job. My job is have memory.
It's great. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
But guys, thank you so much for hanging out, for listening. If you guys like what you hear here, you want to come and hang out with us live, we have been doing those Instagram live things where we don't really have a set like schedule. If you follow us on Instagram at For the Story Podcast, you'll get notified when we go live, which is cool.
That is cool.
We're just like taking questions. We have some cool people who are just like talking to us about stuff. And you can also come and join us on twitch.tv/battleslap, where us and some of our dumb friends play video games, and that's pretty much all that happens there. Yeah.
So we'll catch you guys next week. We love you very much.
And thanks for joining us this time. Don't get spooked out, but we love you. Goodbye.